Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices for Tuesday, October the 25th. I'm just going to stay with the intraday charts for the indices. Now, with the DAX here, we could, we need to be a little bit cautious. We know that we're in a corrective rally. So we need to know at what point the market can turn on us. So in this case here, we can look at this as an A wave and a B wave, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the C wave here, and be completed at this point. Yes, of course, there is overlap on the 4 to 1 here, so that's a little bit of an issue. So I've been using, obviously, when we look at the indices, we also understand that they're just really sort of moving averages of the stocks within their, the constituents within their stocks. Of course, there is the, there's news events and there's options and there's other derivatives as well and so on that, a lot of paper money loaded up into it. So it's not just all black and white. But still, looking at some of the big banks like BAC here, I've been using as a bit of a guide stick here. So with BAC, I've been looking at it as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here, and going up for wave 5 to finish this wave B to wave C up here, and then come down. So I was thinking that, look, it is possible if I get one more little high here, I could put wave 5 here as a top here. I'm not saying that that's not impossible. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've still got a little bit more to go here. So we could just nudge in a new high above here, and that could be it at that point. But it's a little bit short compared to the rest of these. But that's the thing about corrections, is that they just don't, we have to be aware of where things can top out. But otherwise, just looking at it with a little bit more upside into this, then we would need to look at this as wave 1 here, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. So I think there is more upside to come here. And this could take, 5 trading days or more or whatever, depending on how wave 4 plays out, how complicated it is, as wave 4s can get a bit complicated. So this is sort of where we are really with the situation. So how does that play out here if we're going to have more upside with all of this? It just gets a little bit awkward. Whichever way I look at it, it doesn't really sort of fit right. So, as a wave 4 here, that looks quite good, doesn't it? It's big and ugly, and wave 2 is simple and sharp. So it's got those, those dichotic structures there, simple and complex and so on. Do we extend this one up, or do we put this one a little bit further up and look at this as wave 1 here and push this up here, and look at this as wave 2 here, and we'll look at this as, we can look at this as pretty much 5 waves here already, so that's going to be a bit short for a third wave, isn't it, So there's a few issues with all of this, so I'm not really sure which is the best way to go. I feel that there is some more upside to be had here. I just don't know the best way forward with it at this stage. So I'm just going to put this wave 3 and 4 back here. So the other way we could look at this is that we could look at this as a wave 1 here, and look at this as some sort of 5-wave structure up here, and then wave 2 coming back as some sort of ABC, because that little, just by the by here while we're in here, this little move coming off the high here, it can be counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, nice third, fourth, fifth here for the third, so 1, 2. So there is a nice 5 waves down here. Now, is that playing out on the opposite end of this here with 1, 2, what have we got here? 3, 3, 3, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I could play that out here. Actually, I could put that like that as an A and a B and a C here. That would work as well. This is not counting very well for 5 waves up here, but yeah, anyway, that's a high. We just got to be mindful that's 5 waves down. So we could have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave back down here. The trick is here, really, the next thing here, if we do push up here, because we're in a bullish trend, wait for that first high above the level here. I'm talking about trading now, so putting this across the top there. You'd want that number as support, all right? We don't have that number as support. You may be long already in this. We talked about that in this space, but so we could look at this just we could just look at it as, let's just look at this as a wave 3 up here and a 4 here, and then a wave 5 up here, and extend this wave 5 up here somewhere, and this wave C here for this. Now this is probably not the right count, but it'll get us going. So we're either going to with that top being 5 waves down, we'll either have a top in here and we're coming down at that point, or we'll be pushing up into 3, 4, 5. And even when we push up into this space here, we might think to ourselves, oh, that looks like a big third wave. We might just put that over here, and we might just put this wave 1 here back over here, and have 2 here and 3, 4, 5, you know, and build it to the upside. So I'm happy to build it to the upside. I just need to just be a little bit cautious as we go. So the main thing here is any long trades needs 13,000 as the support at this point. Okay, so as it stands at this point, we could probably put this up here as a little wave 1 and 2 at this point, and then look at this as 3, 4, 5 moving up through here on this. So let's just see how we go. We need to take that top out here I mean, I think it's okay the way I've got it counted here, actually. Let me just double check. I could probably, no, that's okay to there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, bit of a deep fourth here. Can I push that over? Just be careful about that top there, you know, because we do have 5 waves down here. That could be a top in the market at that point. Otherwise, you want that 13,000 there, and then we'll build this. We'll continue to build this case to the upside. Just thinking of any other way to count it at the moment. I think we're sort of okay at this point. Yeah, I mean, that overlap. I mean, it's just such a nice fourth wave, though. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't look like a wave 2. I mean, if anything, we could look at it as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up to here, but it'll still take us up to here. And even when we do make the first high above the level here, because normally we'd look for the arrival, yeah, the reaction at a major level like this at 13, and then the first high above the level. Now that first high above the level, that normally comes in around group 1. So I'm just going to remove a couple of these. We don't need those. Group 1 is 100, 200, and 300. And the interesting thing about this, if you get support on top of 300, not just trading above, but tested support, the classic trading levels pattern, then it will push to 500. But more importantly, if you get support on the 300, a tested support, what it's telling you is it's telling you that it's leaving the closest largest number and it's being pulled up, and 5 is the second strongest number. So the 500 here is important. So getting support here. Otherwise, we're going to get some sort of top into this point here, and then we can move, then we'll get some sort of you know, downward movement at that point. So yeah, I mean, this whole trend could build higher, there's no doubt about that, but we just, you know, it's not like this is wave 1 and wave 2 here. You know, this is such a big move down here. It's definitely a corrective move. So, you know, we need to get some sort of relationship between the A, the B, and the C here. We could go a WXY up here and have an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. That's the other thing we could do, which we're looking at with the US markets a bit more, especially the Russell and that. Okay, so that's that, and this will be the same for the EUROSTOXX as well. So I've had it as a wave 4 because it looks like a wave 4, and yes, I know that it's overlapping. We could put wave 5 in this top here as well for that. But I'm a bit more inclined to build this further to the upside. So I'm a bit more inclined to, so just beware that there can be a top here, right, on that top there. But I'm a bit more inclined to bring this over here as 1 here and 2 here, and then look at this here as wave 1 here, and possibly wave 2 pulling back into this space here and moving up from there, because we'd also have 5 waves on that leg there, I'd imagine. Yeah, so we've got 5 waves there. I could look at it as a B wave to the upside using that there. If this does come down, that will be, this will be this probably about there somewhere. Oh, to better check. Can't just go start guessing stuff in public. So it's not too far out. So that's so it could, based on those 5 waves here, have an A wave, a B wave, and come down into a C wave here. I mean, that would be quite a big wave 2 for this move here. So that means that, and to bring this down here as a wave 4, well, that would just overlap these guys here. In a way, we need to tie all of this into wave 1 at this point as 1 and 2. So yeah, I think I'll leave it at that, and I think I'll put this wave 1 here, but that could be a terrible mistake, and wave 2 here. But the same thing applies here. You want to take that top out to go long, to have another long position in this area here. While the market stays above the 3500, it remains bullish. Below this as resistance, and then we're coming down at that point. So let's just see. It'll all come out in the wash, but this is probably not the right wave to put wave 3 and 4 here. It looks like a beautiful wave 4 and a very nice wave 2 here. So we'll go with that. The other point is that can be the top of the market here, so we'll need to be cautious about that. But otherwise, if that top is taken out, then we need to build this trend further to the upside. And I think that might be the case because, as I mentioned with the banks here, we need to continue to build this here. But like I said, all we need here is one more little wave here to take that there. That can pull back and then push up, but we could put that wave 5. I mean, I'm just shooting the breeze because we've got to think about the tops, you know. I mean, if we're going to trade short, we definitely want a nice impulse wave to the downside, and we'll buy the pullback at that point. So we don't have, I'm not seeing any impulse wave to the downside for any of these markets just yet, you know. So we'll keep building that to the upside, and also to the FTSE here. So with the FTSE here, I've got this a little bit differently here in terms of the A wave here, an A and a B and a C wave over here, which makes a little bit more sense. Well, and what we could do here also is put this over here and look at this as the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave over here. I mean, I have to look at this here. I mean, I could look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, but I do have overlapping wave structures, so I'll just go the A, the B, and the C here as well on this particular structure, which would be more appropriate than me sort of making things up again, you know. Here it looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as we talked about yesterday, and then we've got this move up here. So I still think there's some more to the upside here. There should be some sort of, you know, you can see the size of this, and you can see the size of this. So we need basically the relationship to complete at that point. So I think that we need to see further upside here to get all these proportions working as you know, the right look and feel about this situation. So yeah, I think we need to be coming up here further. How far? Maybe exaggerating up here a little bit. We'll see how things play out. But everything sort of said and done, it could be something like this here, and this could pull back here too. So it hasn't. It's kind of just, when you think about it, it's just trying to find its feet again on this. It's having another crack at it. So it came up and, you know, got shy of it, hit it, got up here, pushed back, pushed up here, took a lot of the supply out, came back. So there's probably another test to go in here, and then another test here, you know, before pushing up. So this thing can go over here if that's the case. You get a better position if you're a bit more patient with that. But yeah, so 3, 4, 5. So this would be, you know, this would be a little bit more in line with the banks at this point, you know, and 4 and 5 here. So, you know, we can extend it and shorten it and those sort of things, but just getting the right sort of general look at all of this here. So that would be in line with the US banks at that point, which I'd be happy with. So kind of on the right track there a little bit with that. And then over to the, yeah, I mean, the other side to this as well is the you know, the money. So with the US dollar index here, it's on 2000 ticks. We're looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and then a C wave down here. Now this, I won't go into the bigger picture of why I've labeled it like this in this particular video. But we do have 5 waves down here, and we're looking for wave 2. Didn't quite pull back up to its 61.8%, but the lower end of 50. So it could be all right at this point. But the thing is we're looking for, you know, the worst case scenario would be that it will come up to here somewhere and then go down at that point. So just be mindful of that. But we'll have a look at this on the 100 tick chart. So from the top over here, we've got wave 1 with an ABC for 2, and then the same reoccurring pattern, 1 ABC for 2, down for the third, ABC for the fourth, 5, 3, 4, 5. So we do have a nice wave 1 here. We do have an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2. Just never got to our target, which is kind of a little bit haunting. It does appear that we've got 5 waves down here, overlapping, all rough and all that sort of stuff. It could be 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And this 2 has pulled back to its 61.8%, pretty much spot on. So if it breaks this one here, right, then you know that we're on our way down here. And if we're on our way down here, that means we're on our way up in the indices, and also in the Forex as well, for the euro and the cable and so on. So in the reverse of all of this, we've got the pound here. We're looking at this as an A and a B and a C wave up here, and as the A wave, and then an A, B and C for the B wave here, and then we're looking for 5 waves up here, which has also put us in line with the US banks as well at that point. So that's kind of a nice picture there, and as I may have mentioned, this picture here is it's got a little bit of overlapping wave structure, so we could look at it a little bit differently as well. But we've got a nice impulse wave here now, and let's just see how that plays to the upside. We haven't really made a new high here. So we haven't also pulled back to the 50-60% here as well on this, so that's also possible to come down further. So just be a little bit mindful of that. But as far as the crow flies, we could look at this, taking this high out here to go on the long side here. This is also trying to gain support on top of group 1. So we've got 1.1 and then 1, 2, 3. So getting support here, tested support, would flip it up to the next level, the midpoint, the 5, and take it away from this number. So that's what we're looking for here. It looks like some sort of ABC pattern in here. Is it finished? Don't know. It looks like it, with that sort of move up there for that. But anyway, I don't want to pull that apart just yet. So, but this looks impulsive. So we're kind of on track for this, but could drop down a bit further. Taking that top out there would force it to be corrective of that. Technically we'd want really the B wave up here, but to get an early start and catch the worm, maybe a smaller position on that side there, and the third wave up here and the fourth and so on. There'll be some correction across number 5 here for sure, right? So just be careful. That's the number to trade to and get out. Wait for the correction, wait for support like this, then get back in and check all the way up. But this is quite a nice pattern here, a bit better than the euro, I think. Euro's a little bit different too, actually. So let's just get a bit more data in here. Right, well, I pulled this apart and looked at it differently yesterday. That's okay. Don't worry about too much of the count here at the moment, but we'll just go with this wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here, and continuing to push up. So we'll look for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our pathway, okay? Obviously we're at the 99 here, so not a very important number, but important enough to put in here. And if I was going to go long here, I would want the closest, largest number as support. I don't want to go long in front of it, because you end up with stuff like this happening. You want it sitting on top there as support, like this here, a bit of a jiggle around and then taking out the highs, and then you're on your way at that point. So that's what you'd look for there. And this should get, you know, once the 99 becomes the support, this should be sucked up to this number here. It's like a magnet. 1 is the strongest number, so there'll be all cheering going on for that. Alrighty, I think that's it for the this lot. Alrighty, cheers.